welcome to my channel. Well, I found this is the pouch for the thing we're going to be talking about. There's not a lot to say about this pretty thin pouch. This knife right here, I recently found in that pouch, and I started looking at it, and I reviewed this one a while back. It's video number 620, so if you just type in Liam's Knife Life and then 620, it'll pop up in your search. You search through YouTube. When I looked at it before, this one is a no-name knife. It's called a double tactical knife. So it's basically got no name to it. So we don't know where it was made other than China. But what's different than this is it's thick. It looks like a traditional knife, but it's got, I haven't taken it apart, but it's got these, looks like you would strip it if you tried them, type of screws, a skull crusher or a glass breaker. I would think the way it looks and everything, I would say this is probably more for smashing somebody's skull or a pressure point type of thing. Now, the first time I looked at it, I thought, well, this thing isn't very tactical because it's an automatic knife, but you really need two hands to open it. Well, not really. If you know what you're doing, you can get it open with one hand. But at first, you look at it, it really could use some scalloping, you know, down here. And then you've got to push this back. Where is all earthquaking here? To close it. And then like that, latches it. And you see there's no... If you want to get a fingernail, you know, you can kind of do it like that. But really, what I just did, I'm holding it like this. I just pushed the back of my thumb up on it like this. And eventually you get it up like that. It's not fast. I guess that's the double tactical part of it. But when it comes out, man, it comes out. And then it's securely locked in place. There's no up and down or side to side. There's nothing on the blade here to let you know what kind of steel it is or where it's made. It has a swedge up here, which is kind of annoying when you're trying to close it, but it helps in thrusting. All right, now I've got a new hobo armor here. I'm gonna put it up here. Now the purpose of my hobo armor test is not to try to see if it'll go all the way through, because you can do that easily with just about any knife, even a blunt knife. You get it back and throw enough force at it. Now this is just more like an annoyance poke or stab that someone would have. How well would it stop that? So what I do is whatever knife I've got, I take it back from about, you know, like maybe a foot away, and I just, ooh, and you see what we got there. Pretty good thrust. Now, I know, you know, like Tobias was showing in one of his videos where he was showing that, you know, the Air Force survival knife will go through ammo cans and stuff like that. It's designed, you know, to thrust. Well, yeah, when your life's in danger, you're going to be thrusting real hard. But what, for my particular test, the difference on my particular tests are, don't take these as super, you know, serious puncture tests. What I'm trying to do is get an idea of how it stacks up to other knives. Some knives, because of their obtuse nature and everything, even though they're pointy, you've got to really thrust them more to get them to penetrate. Something as light as cardboard, which would be kind of like skin. You know, I think skin and cardboard would probably be fairly close to the same texture. So if it cut skin, you'd have an idea. I'll try to get this. Ow. That's no fun. Yeah, I'm gonna scallop this out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find out where it lands right in front of these set screws right here. I'm gonna mark it, and then I'm gonna channel out a little groove so that your finger can get in it, because it still won't prevent it. It won't keep it from. To fire this thing, you've got to go the other way. All right, let's look at the mechanism now. So let's fire it. comes out with a pretty good force. Now what's different about this one is, you see that right there? That's the spring. Goes all the way back. I mean, it's like a main spring on this thing. And what holds it in is this little guy right here. Let's see if we can zoom in. This little guy right here is a little lever. And so when he levers up, there's a notch in that pivot up there. When he levers up, the thing can move. Now right there you'd think, oh, it's got a half stop. No, it's running into that other pivot as this is camming, you know, past it. And then you don't meet any spring resistance until the tang right here touches that upright piece of metal. And then pushing it down, you're better going over here on the thick part, but you still have to usually get a little assistance. And then once you got it down, it locks, you know, because of the spring tension of this piece of metal, it locks it up in place, and now it's secure. So there's one notch, and there's the other notch. And that's the notch that's holding it right now. So let me unzoom this thing. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Now here's another type of mechanism, right? You notice there's no back spring because the spring is around the pivot. It's just a little piece of wire. Now this is more compact, but this is easier to make crudely, you know, because you don't have to make a coil spring. If you've got a coil spring, yeah, but you've got to make it. Can't just be any old kind of spring. It's got to be the right diameter. It's got to be coiled just right. It's got to be the right material. And try making a coil by hand. It's not as easy as making, you know, a flat piece of steel up there. And all of this is, you know, levering mechanisms and everything. It's fairly, look at that. This is where it levers off. It's fairly well thought out. You look at it and you're like, eh, crude. It has a wooden handle. I mean, a clip on. Sorry, I almost dropped it with the soap. And it was gonna fire. It's gonna fire. But yeah, it's an interesting design. See that? Comes down. That's your little levering mechanism. It levers because it's got this little hump here that goes up against that bolster. And it doesn't seem to scratch it a whole lot or make it super noticeable because it's catching it just right on the edge right there. So yeah, there's more to it than meets the eye on some of these things. You know, when you first look at them, you're like, eh. But, and because of this flat swedge up here, false edge, whatever you want to call it, it's not sharp. It can't really be because you're going to cut yourself. With this thing up here, if this was sharp, you'd cut yourself with this thing in your, even in a little holster that you're supposed to, I guess, carry it around, which slows it down. So, if I had more fingernail, I could probably get it up underneath it, but like I said, you can kind of, takes a little bit. I mean, it probably takes you longer to get this thing open than it would I know it'd take you long to get it open. This one, you just push a button, and it's ready to go. All right, let's do a little bit of stab while we're at it. Not bad, not bad. I think I'm using a little bit more force because I'm coming back here, because before I just get up like almost within camera range and stab. And that, you got to admit, if somebody's going to, unless they just want to get somebody's attention, you know, they're not going to do a light thrust. I mean, seems to me you're either going to thrust all the way or you're not going to thrust at all. Oh, I made Goofy dropped his flashlight here. Also, man, I'm digging this color orange. Usually, I like orange in certain situations, you know, but with these Olights and everything, it's just like an iridescent orange or whatever. I don't even have to put glow-in-the-dark stuff on this one because I think I would be able to see if I dropped it, you know. I never was a super big fan of orange, but they do come in handy, and especially on a flashlight. You take a black-bodied flashlight, yeah, it's tactical. It doesn't show up that you got, it blends in if you're carrying it on your body, but drop that thing. Or if it's at night, you know, and you're trying to find something, it's just a shadow like everything else. So it's good to have something that stands out, even though it may not, you know, look so cool or whatever you may want to call it. But anyways, yeah, there you go. That's what, just another look at this knife. I think it's pretty interesting. I don't remember how much it's gonna beat this scale on weight. It weighs like half an ounce. I know. I mean half a pound. Half an ounce. Half a pound. Yeah, let's weigh it on the calculator. I don't think you can weigh it with the calculator. I got the calculator in the other room. So anyways, I'll put the weight in the end. Wake up, Peppy. What the hell? No time to be sleeping. And look, Ted. You all right? Well, I want your feet up. If you're sitting there feet up and you're T-Rex and you've had an injury recently, we suspect something might have been going on. Who knocked security over out of his Jeep? All right, we'll still be doing that that November giveaway. Look at me klutzing out. We'll do that November giveaway thing in December, because it's December now. But I still want to. I haven't got paid yet. I still want to get one more knife to it, because I got some basic stuff in there, but I want to just throw one more, you know, a decent knife in there. Anyway, there you go. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Oh, God, did you see that? Oh, did you see that, Peppy? Did you see that? Did you? Well, we better not get dino abuse in here. He was asleep before. He won't remember what happened. It happened so fast. Here, just go back to sleep. There you go. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.